We all need electricity, whether it be for domestic or commercial purposes. Without electricity, our society would come to a standstill, as so much is dependent on electrical power in one way or another. A strong grid is essential to ensuring power supply to all Icelanders and meeting security of supply requirements throughout the country. Industrial development in Iceland's southwest corner in the 1960s set in motion a systematic grid development. Prior to that, the country was divided into a number of isolated systems, or islands, with inadequate operational security and higher costs for the economy.
Framkvæmdir Landsvirkjunar við Suðurlínu lokið og var línan tekin í gagnið í dag. Þar með búið að hringtengja byggðalínukerfið.
Just as with the completion of the ring road in the early 1970s, the construction of the regional ring network in 1972 to 1984 made a decisive difference for communities and economic development around Iceland. Environmentally friendly energy, generated by hydropower or geothermal facilities, then replaced generating stations powered by imported diesel oil. Currently, however, the network's operation is at full capacity. Transmission constraints and instability characterize the operation, impeding development around the country. Therefore, reinforcement is overdue. The transmission system in the southwest of Iceland is in robust shape, but improvements are needed elsewhere in the country. For large and small communities around Iceland to prosper, the grid must be able to transmit more energy. It's very difficult to deal with major incidents when they arise, and more often, we're having to divide the network into islands, similar to the situation in 1970, to protect it from shocks and minimize risks.
Dýr raftæki skemmdust í Fljótsdal og á Hallormsstað í rafmagnstruflunum fyrr í mánuðinum.
The number of incidents causing damage to assets, such as electrical equipment, has risen markedly in recent times. The coordinated operation of water reservoirs is complex, and business operations must often resort to being powered by oil, leading to increased pollution and costs. If nothing is done, the macroeconomic costs of grid bottlenecks will run into billions of Icelandic kroner every year. To strengthen the main grid, this lifeline for Iceland, Landsnet wishes to link more effectively the energy core in the south to the north of Iceland. The company has set out two main proposals for doing this in its grid development plan. These include erecting a new regional ring network around the country, or a connection running across the interior with grid strengthening to the east and west. The latter may well be the most feasible solution. An environmental impact assessment is now underway to evaluate the implications of this so-called Sprengisand line across the interior. Through its commitment to careful analysis and the gathering of detailed information, Landsnet is hopeful of finding a solution that is broadly acceptable.